So basically, we just walked for like 45 minutes with the two kids and the dog to a auto parts store to try and find a replacement inverter. And when we got there, they didn't have one. So now we're taking the city bus back, and I'm going to figure out a way to get out basically to the suburbs to try and find a replacement inverter. That's the situation. My first trip on a City of Kingston public bus. They're nice buses. We're still on our search for an inverter. Bus number 2, still on the inverter hunt.
Well, eventually, what we ended up doing was we split up, and I found an inverter after about 3 hours of searching. And while I went to find the inverter, they went and got lunch, and then we got a few groceries, and we proceeded to Cedar Island for the night. So here's our trip across from Kingston to Cedar Island. So on our trip from Cedar to Kingston Island, we decided to motor. Our reasoning there was plenty of wind. There was no shortage of wind. Our concern was that there was potentially too much wind. It was on our beam, which is a good angle for us to have the wind because we can have the main fairly well sheeted out, and it's a fast point of sale. But we were worried about getting overpowered or something going wrong in those conditions. So instead of messing around with sailing, we there was a storm, so we motored at our best speed to get across the distance. The seas were on our beam. The boat took it really well. Here's a look. Anyway, you get the idea. It was blowy and it was rough, and the wind direction really wasn't that great for sailing, because the wind was forward of the beam. It wasn't quite a beam reach. Once we came around the point at RMC, Royal Military College, the seas kind of moved a little bit further aft to our beam, so they were more or less right on our beam. Bayhen's got a lot of great things going for it. However, the way that it achieves its shallow draft is it has a flat bottom, a perfectly flat bottom. So when she's in these high frequency waves with short wave period, she's got a fairly jerky rolling motion to her. She doesn't kind of gently roll. It's sharp, jerky rolls.
Well, that crossing over from Kingston to Cedar Island was a little lumpy. Apparently the wind's gusting to 30 knots. Supposed to start raining later. This boat rides pretty well though, you know, even with those short, steep, white cappy type waves. The boat doesn't seem to be very badly affected by it, you know. She's pretty comfortable. We're going to stay put for the rest of the day because it's supposed to be stormy and rainy, so we're going to explore Cedar Island, take advantage of the picnic shelter, check out the old fortifications that are still here. Good time. It is pouring, and I mean like pouring rain. I'm supposed to do this all day, and the winds are near gale force. So we are definitely stuck here, but we got a pretty good setup actually. We got our tent set up, and we have our kitchen shelter set up. We got a fire going. I don't know how long it's going to go for. I think we might end up cooking our lunch on our alcohol stove, which is too bad because we got kebabs, but we have no refrigeration, so we have to eat them. And there's our tent, with the front door open. I think I better deal with it. The weather is not improving. I think we're going to be wet tonight, perhaps even in the tent. So it's pouring rain, windy. Can't really do too much, so we're cooking and eating. So for lunch we're having what's here? There's pork souvlaki, and onion, and Oliver says we're gonna be having some corn later as well.
All right. That's all I have for today. That's crossing from Kingston to Cedar Island. Thank you for watching the Travel by Water channel.